The following is a presentation of Magrack, your video magazine rack.
Destination Nature is a travel service dedicated to the ecotourist. Right now we're sailing off the coast of the Galapagos Islands, where we're working on a special series on the Galapagos, and you'll see that in upcoming episodes. But first, in this month's installment of Destination Nature, Way Out Wild leads us on a tour of the wildlife refuges and jungle lodges of South India. Nature Next Door takes us on a sea kayaking journey through Florida's 10,000 islands. Destination Duffel highlights navigational gear that will keep you headed in the right direction, and we'll challenge your knowledge of the world's great nature destinations in our video postcard from the wild, all right here on Destination Nature. Our Way Out Wild series brings you global wilderness adventures with top guides and travelers, all who have a love for ecotourism. This month you'll meet up with Sandesh Kador, a South Indian filmmaker and naturalist who grew up with India's lush wilderness as his backyard.
It is a place so far away in distance, culture, and history that it's almost unimaginable. It is also a land so rich in wildlife that it's easy to forget that this is one of the most densely populated nations on Earth. This is India, a land of contrasts, culture, and above all, overwhelming beauty. As a kid growing up here, I was amazed to see the wildlife that surrounded me. I always dreamt of spending all my time outdoors. For the last 4 years, this dream has been a reality. I've been spending most of my time outdoors filming and photographing wildlife in South India. My aim is not only to document the incredible biotic richness of this region, but to show that wildlife can coexist with large human populations. Of course, documenting wildlife by visual means is only half the story.
I joined Sandesh about a year into the project to work as sound recordist and as field assistant. Bangalore is the main arrival city for most of South India. When you first arrive, the city is an assault upon the senses. There's cars, lorries, auto rickshaws, bullock carts all streaming past, and traffic is absolutely crazy. Fortunately, things change pretty rapidly once you get out of the city. And escaping from the city is really no more difficult than hopping a train. It's very affordable, and it gives spectacular views of the countryside.
About 140 kilometers southwest of Bangalore is the city of Mysore, an ideal hub from which to explore several extraordinary wildlife areas. One such place is Ranganathitu, a bird sanctuary that's only a few kilometers outside of Mysore. This is one of the best places to see birds, particularly water birds. Both painted and open-billed storks, spoonbills, ibises, and a variety of egrets, herons, and other birds return here every year by the thousands to nest on the small islands.
there were birds everywhere, and they were all new birds. I'd never seen any of these birds before. Oh, it was just sensory overload. They were calling and they were nesting and they were everywhere. And we got on a boat and went for a boat ride to get closer to some of the islands where there were rookeries and birds nesting. And on the ride over we saw crocodiles, which was another treat. He is big.
Magrack crocodiles abound here. You can see them cruising the shoreline looking for hapless chicks or basking in the sun on large rocks. The best way to see wildlife is through the boat rides. It allows you a chance to get up close to the animals without disturbing them. And the guides here really impressed us. They have a substantial amount of knowledge about the animals here. So they'd take you out on the boat and they could point out every species there and tell you what it was. They could tell you when any of the species were due to arrive, what their nesting season was, how long it took for the eggs to hatch.
I like particularly the fact that it's a nice park, a nice place to visit, and then see all the wonderful wildlife forms that are there.
After a long day at the bird sanctuary, a visit to the Mysore Palace can be quite a contrast, but one that's well worth it. Once a week on Sunday evenings, the Mysore Palace is brightly lit so that the public, both locals and foreigners, can enjoy this brilliant spectacle.
Are you from?
America. America. 2 weeks.
Yeah, because the airline lost my luggage.
As night falls, the palace grounds are set ablaze by 97,000 glowing lights. It's not the first time the palace has been ablaze. The original palace, built in the 1700s, burned to the ground in 1897. The palace you see today was completed in 1912. A visit to the city is pleasant but brief. I'm anxious to return to one of my favorite jungles.